It is Steph
and Nikki
from Jogs. We are so excited to have Keri Montilla from Hungry Mutts. If you haven't heard of them, they are a locally owned and operated dog treat company in Edmonton. They supply super high value treats for pups. We'll get Keri to obviously introduce that a little bit more and tell us kind of like the story behind everything once we start chatting a little bit. She also has two super handsome dogs, Wesley and Morris. They are super awesome. We'll get her to introduce them as well. Do you have anything else to say for?
And why don't we just bring Keri into
Welcome, Keri.
Hi.
Do you maybe want to, I guess, explain kind of just why and how you started making treats and how you kind of got into this?
Yeah, no, for sure. That he is already prone to a lot of skin issues like allergies and all that kind of stuff. And so having him, like for the first, like literally first 3 months of owning him, we were at the vet every week because of ear infection, like just yeast, and he smelled like Doritos, on the daily, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong, and me being a first-time dog owner. So we went through that, and I kind of like did my research. I joined every Sharpay health group on Facebook, and I kind of like go by that and eliminated the diet. He's raw fed, and just for us to continue that concept, that I started making his own treats, because I couldn't find anything in the store that I could actually recognize the ingredients. And eventually we figured out that he doesn't do well with starches. And him being in training and group classes and all that we really need something to support all those activities for him. So yeah, and that's how I kind of like got into making his own treats. And then eventually we figured that, well, there's a lot of dog owners right now that are experiencing the same thing. So we figured that, to get into it and maybe share what we know and what we experience with people.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I think, I feel like in the most recent years, it's become definitely a really big issue, right? Like you said, when you go into any dog food store or pet store, it is really difficult to find kind of like one ingredient things or to recognize what those ingredients are on a lot of things.
No, exactly.
Allergies too, what exactly it is that your pet is reacting to.
Yeah, because some dogs can be very specific. There are like with protein stuff, like some dogs can do well with like mixed protein kind of thing. Like with Morris, he couldn't. And he can get like GI issues with it as well. So we have to like really watch what goes into his mouth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. That's awesome. And well, I guess that kind of leads into what treats do you specialize in?
Well, we specialize in meat. We are meat-based dog treat company. Like I said, Morris does not do well with starches. So cookies and stuff like that, we kind of like not fully eliminate it. If I find something that I can actually trust, like the ingredients and stuff, I would give it to him. But we kind of like eliminated cookies, so like crackers and stuff like that. So, and it's easier to kind of like suppress the ingredients when you go buy meat, because then you can kind of like separate proteins with it.
Yeah.
Why we're just kind of like doing the meat and organs.
Right. No, for sure. Like, like you already know, you can isolate very specifically the ingredients that are going in. Can you walk us, generally speaking, through like your procedures and like how you guys make treats?
No, for sure. Well, first of all, there's a lot of research that goes into it, because we wanted to make sure that we source out our ingredients locally. Obviously, some like the spices and all that, like it's really hard to find something local unless you're growing it, in your backyard or whatever. Yeah. But we research butchers and little farmers and all that, and that's how we get our supplies. And most of our treats are single ingredients, like, you know, like the duck heart and chicken heart and the beef liver. But with the jerky strips, we grind our own meat. So we know what actually goes in it, and it's not just like trimmings and like cartilage, like it's pure meat that goes in it. And we know like the percentage of organs and other stuff that we use to make the treats. And, you know, we handmade it. We pump the jerky by hand and we smoke it for hours. We have a Jimmy, my husband, he built a 6 feet by 4 smokehouse.
Yes.
And we smoke the treats there for hours. And I think our neighbors kind of like know already what's happening, right? And then we just, you know, we make sure we remove moisture enough, just because we don't use preservatives. So we got to make sure that we can keep that freshness of our treats, basically. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it's, as people that have actually been to your home,
it smells like treats we want to eat.
Yeah.
So, we have a package of the beef strips with us. These are our dog's absolute favorites. Like, he likes all the treats, but when I pulled them out of the cupboard, he came and nearly ran into the table because he was just so excited.
Yeah.
That I had pulled the treats out. So he just absolutely adores them.
Yes.
And will do anything we want him to do, basically.
Yeah. It can make your dog do anything you want. Like when you open the package, like you can smell it right away, right?
Oh, totally.
They smell so good. I'm like, are you sure these aren't human treats?
Well, you know what? Like this is kind of like a disclaimer, because it's supposed to be like not for human consumption,
Right.
but I actually ate some.
Oh yeah.
Like it doesn't taste anything because there's no salt in it.
Right.
And the ratio of organs that we put, you know, it's like a quarter of the recipe itself. So there's not a whole lot of organs if you're kind of like squeamish about organs.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, they're okay. Like they taste actually good without the taste, if that makes sense. It's just the smell that kind of like invigorates your brain to eat it, basically.
It's perfect for the dogs, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Yeah, because they use their nose.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is partially why you created them, right? With training and
Yes.
you know, slightly allergic and whatnot. So you needed something that would excite them and get you.
No, for sure.
So.
Yeah, like, well, and honestly, like we use them for Coda's leash reactive. So definitely, as soon as like I even like bring it out of my pocket, he doesn't even care what's around him.
What's around him anymore? Yeah, I know, for sure. That's awesome.
It's definitely helped us quite a bit.
Good boy. Hey, Coda. Yes. Good boy. Coda. Yes.
What do you feel like are your biggest challenges like throughout this whole journey?
Well, so far the biggest challenges that we have is just because we don't use preservatives, it's really hard to retain the freshness of the treats. And we want to like stand by our brand that we're not using any preservatives. So how we do it is we make treats in small batches that in return we have to almost like make treats every week because of the demand. But I mean, it's not a bad problem to have, because that means we're doing great. But it's just like the work that's put into it. Like, I mean, there's a lot of love that goes into it, right? So we are still like looking into, you know, using better, like the packaging bag, just to kind of like keep the treats fresher longer, like the shelf life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean, that's the biggest hurdle right now, because in all honesty, if we kind of like change something like just 10 minutes of the cooking time whatsoever and we bake the treats, like it can turn moldy. It's not going to be like the standard of timing that we wanted. So that means we're wasting products, basically.
Right.
So that's kind of like what's hard right now. But I mean, it's a learning process. So we're still learning, and we're, you know, doing our research as much as we can. So hopefully we'll get it all down and, you know, set up for us.
Oh, absolutely. No,
But yeah.
and you as well. Like, you guys have already gone this far, and yeah, just like look at like what you've done already. It's amazing.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So where can people find your products? I guess what products do you have to offer, and how can they find you?
Currently we were supposed to do like markets every weekend, but obviously since COVID, that's been canceled and all that. So we are focusing on our website. Like people can, they're on our website, can find us there, and they can also find us on Instagram. Like we run our Instagram a lot, and we have like promotions and discount codes that goes on. So if people wanted to avail any of those, they should follow us on Instagram as well.
Yeah. What is your handle, Keri?
I'm sorry?
What is your handle?
You can find us on Instagram, and our handle is at Hungry Mutts Yeg. That Yeg, like YEG.
We cannot thank you enough for starting this company, and we just are truly behind what you guys do. Like you said, you put a lot of love into it, and you can tell like Morris and Wesley are like such sweet pups, and you can tell that they absolutely, I can't even imagine living in your home and being them.
Smelling the good.
No,
And sampling
very
all the
sporty.
time. Lucky boys.
Yeah.
No,
No, for sure.
You, Jimmy and Aubrey, like you guys have, it's really awesome what you guys represent. And we just
thank you
want to share that love. We'll post Coda's little discount package if anyone wants to try Hungry Mutts. But it is definitely worth trying, and really you can't really go wrong with giving it a whirl. Is there anything else that you would like to leave off with, Keri?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, I just wanted to thank the dog community in Edmonton. Like this is one of like the biggest surprise that I got, like going into the business. I mean, I ran Morris and Wesley's Instagram, but I interact with people everywhere, but I didn't really realize how the dog community in Edmonton is. And I am very overwhelmed by the support, even from other businesses that related to the dog community. It's not about competition, you know, they're open into collaborating, and if they do believe in what you stand for, they will pull you up and, you know, advertise for you and things like that. So it's been really good. Like, I mean, without that, I mean, it's been a word of mouth for us, and without them, like, I don't think we'll go, you know, far. I mean, we only launched in November, but with what we already accomplished and developed, and we're still working on new products right now. I mean, without them, we wouldn't be here. You know, we wouldn't probably last with the economy that's going on right now as well.
It's definitely a very like complicated time for people, but it's a very supportive community. Absolutely. And that's one of the great parts of it. Obviously, we're relatively fresh too, and it's just the things that we've experienced. It's amazing. Like people in the same industry, and it doesn't matter do the same thing as you or whatever. Everyone is very supportive for sure.
No, for sure. No, it's amazing. Like I thought I was the only crazy dog lady, but no, I'm not. It actually made me feel better that there's others there, you know, and it's actually like way a little bit overboard. And I always think that I love my dogs too much, that it's insane, but it's actually okay after meeting this people.
It is, absolutely. They're family too, so.
Yeah.
That's great. So thank you very much again for your time, and thank
you for doing this.
Of course. And it's just I think it's important people kind of like meet the creator and like the reason why you kind of you started this, really. I think a lot of people can relate to it.
No, for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it was great having you.
Yes.
We can't wait to collaborate with you again.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks, Keri. Talk to you later.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.